Now we are moving towards the waking. The same tanmatras and bhutas are now projected into the waking as Jnanendriya Karmendriya and as the 5 gross elements. I didn't write them again, but it's the same 5 elements again. So Pancha Jnanendriya is the 5 organs of knowledge. When the waking state arises on the Anandamaya Kosha, there is this physical body, and on this physical body there are these senses which give the appearance, false appearance, mind you, that this physical body walks, talks, is conscious. Therefore, it has a life of its own. That is the illusion created by the 5 sense organs, the 5 Jnanendriyas. What? They give the illusion that this body is conscious by itself. That's why studying them separately in depth is very important. Ask yourself the question, is there a recognition that the organ of touch, the sparshendriya, the function of touching, sparshana, and the object that is touched, sparsha, they are not 3. They are not 3. Do I recognize this? Do you see that it is only a touch knowledge wave? It's not even a touch wave anymore. It is a touch knowledge wave. It appears on the stage and it exits. Are you clearly able to distinguish it as knowledge and me being the knower of this knowledge? If you cannot, you still get lost in the organ of touch, or you get lost in the function of touching, or you get lost in the object that is touched. Then you are still bound as the experiencer of touch. Now, I don't need to elaborate on touch. You know what I mean. Pleasant touch, unpleasant touch, soft touch, hard touch, pleasant texture and unpleasant texture. The feelings that arise because of different kinds of touch, the thoughts that arise because of different kinds of touch. Oh, all this is a broad spectrum. I am still bound by Sparshendriya. I have to dive deep, recognize it. If I see that every kind of touch is just seen as a knowledge wave, there is not a moment spent on it. There is no mulling over it. There is no story creation behind it. It comes like a wave and it disappears immediately. Even its memory is not retained. That is the proof I am not bound. But if its memory is retained and it is repeated again and again and again, whether in thought or in feeling, then I am still bound by touch in the waking. So we need to really evaluate ourselves very seriously in all these indriyas. I spoke at length about Sparshendriya. I'll go quickly through the others, but you know how to work on yourself. Next is Rasanendriya, that is the organ of taste. Is there a recognition that Rasanendriya, the organ of taste, the function of tasting, which is asvadana in Sanskrit, or the object that is taste, the rasa, they are not 3. Can I see them all as just one single knowledge wave, knowledge of taste? Taste knowledge wave. It appears, it disappears. no memory, no attachment retained. Am I there yet? Then I see it as jnana. If there is memory, if there is attachment, if there is the craving of repeating the same taste, that means I am bound by the idea I am the experiencer of taste. Remind yourself, can I, the witness, really experience taste? Pleasant taste, unpleasant taste? I cannot. I cannot. I only create an idea of a pleasant taste. I only create an idea of an unpleasant taste. Then I convince myself that, oh, I've not tasted enough. Now I want more. I have not tasted enough. Now I want more. Oh no, this is not satisfying. Now more. Do you recognize this? That's how you create the story of not being satiated enough. And a point comes where you get tired of trying to taste. And you give up. Anyway, it's not happening. You don't say it in these words to yourself, but you get a glimpse of the witness cannot taste. And then you let it go. A boredom arises. It's not because you're satiated. You're never satiated, neither with touch nor with taste, not with any of the others, not with sight, not with sound, not with smell. You cannot be satiated because you cannot experience it directly. You want to experience it. That is a different thing. But you cannot really experience it. And that is the reason you create the story and you stretch the story and you keep stretching the story. Okay. So observe yourself. Am I bound by this idea? Oh, I have not tasted enough. Or, oh, it's not enough for this body. This body requires more. This body is sick, so it needs more. And whatever, you keep creating more false stories to cover the lust for that pleasant relish. Obviously, for unpleasant, you will not create a story. To want more, you will create an opposite story. Why you don't want that. Why it is not good for the body, etc., etc. All false stories. Self-evaluation, very important at this level. Same for the third, Grahanindriya, the organ of smell. Is there a recognition that this organ of smell, which is the nose, the function of smelling, and the object that is smelled, Gandha, they are all one. They are not three. It's not Grahanindriya, Ghrana, and Gandha. No. It's simply Gandha Jnana. Only the knowledge of smell. Can I recognize this wave? If you see that I do not see it as knowledge, you have to go dive deeper. Dive deeper into what? Checking what stories am I making. From the stories that I am making, I will be able to find out, oh, this vritti also, this vritti also. When I explain, I'm explaining them separately. But when you actually evaluate, you will see 2-3 vrittis meshed together, creating a story. Is there a recognition that it is only jnana? If not, I am captivated by the idea that I am the experiencer of pleasant or unpleasant smell in the waking. Next is Shrotendriya, that is the organ of sound. So is there a recognition that there is no separate organ of sound, no function of hearing, and no object that is heard? Right now, you are hearing this knowledge. Is there clarity that there is only sound, shabda jnana, the knowledge of sound? That's it. There is no real sound there. If you cannot see just shabda jnana, it is proof that you are still captivated by the idea that I am the experiencer of the sound of this Advaita knowledge. And this will continue. Then you'll become the experiencer of the sound of the criticism by the family member. You'll become the experiencer of the praise by the colleague in office. Then you'll keep being the experiencer of sounds. You're bound by both pleasant and unpleasant sounds in the waking. Ekta's just giving very simple examples, general examples that apply to everyone. When it comes up for me, it is an indication from the flow. Let me honor the flow. The moment it comes up, write it down. This is my work area. Very clear? Next is Chakshurendriya, the organ of sight. Is there a recognition that there is no three there? There's just one. There is no Chakshurendriya, the organ of sight, separate from the function of seeing, which is called darshan, separate from the object seen, which is the rupa or the form. They are not three. Is there recognition that it is all one? Only when I have that recognition, it is not three, it is just one. Then I can see the Rupa Jnana. Simply the knowledge of the sight wave or the seen wave. Are you able to just consider Ekta in front of you as only a knowledge wave? Then you are not captivated by the idea I am the experiencer of sight. Otherwise, you will get captivated. Then you are bound. So you check, am I bound or am I free? Right now, it is just a very neutral environment where somebody is talking about knowledge. But the same thing, you see something gory on TV. It's nothing but jnana, rupa jnana. Can I see it only as a knowledge wave? Some sight, that's it. Without getting involved in that news. Oh, it is war, it is famine, it is drought, it is death. Oh, why this, why that, blah, blah. Now you're caught up in the story about that sight. Similarly, story about the sight of your spouse, about your kids, about the parent, about the money in the bank, about the work, the accolades received, the awards, the praise, the criticism received in office by some boss or some colleague or somebody. How you get lost in the rupa, the form. Recognize, oh no, right now I'm getting stuck in this rupa, in this particular form. Clear? The 5 jnanendriyas are very clear. They are pertaining to the waking. The senses did their job. They captivated me, made me feel, oh, I am this person that is alive, conscious. See, I am somebody. All those illusions created by the jnanendriyas now get extended into the karmendriyas. I can walk, I can talk, I can behave like this, I can do this, I can do that. All those illusions get extended into the karmendriyas. Now we move on to the 5 karmendriyas. These are the organs of action of the physical body. So the first karmendriya is pani or hasta or organs of grasping, literal translation. The organ of grasping, which is hands. What does this mean? Action, the idea that I am the doer of action. I can do this, I can do that. If I want, I will not do. Both doing and not doing, same category, huh? Can I see this doership wave come up and see it only as knowledge of doership? I cannot do. I, the witness, have never done an action. Do I have this recognition? Or am I getting lost in this body and thinking, whatever this body is doing, I am doing that? Am I taking the credit of, undue credit, I should say, of this action? If it is like that, then you are bound by the idea, I am the doer of action. The second is pada, or organs of locomotion. In simple words, legs. Am I able to see that I do not move from one place to another? I, the witness, cannot move. This is very important. A lot of people get stuck at this stage where you're supposed to be able to recognize at the top of the mountain, oh, I am that infinite field, the Anandamaya Kosha, in which the idea of motion appears like knowledge and recedes. Am I able to see the idea of motion as simply knowledge? Or do I think I go, I come, I sit, I went from this room to that room? All doership and experiencership comes up then. Clear? The next is vak, or organs of speech. Am I able to see just speech wave, the knowledge of speech, vak jnana? Or do I get captivated that I am speaking? If I get captivated by the body identification, immediately I'll be captivated by speech doership. I said this, I did not say this, I did not criticize, oh, I praised, I sang a song, I did not sing a song, I have a good voice, I don't have a good voice, etc., etc., etc. Speech doership comes from vak. Do I see it as only vaka jnana, or do I get stuck in speech? Remember, if I get stuck in speech and I hold on to speech, see, I am such a kind person, I speak such kind words, you will start pointing and blaming others for not having that same kind speech. You'll start comparing, see, I am a holy person, I am a spiritualist, I speak only holy things and you are unholy. Now you will start seeing how different vrittis come together. Start recognizing, oh, speech, I need to work on this. Either I have a lot of ego about my kind speech, or I don't have kind speech. Yeah. Both. In both, I am not seeing it as a vaka jnana. I don't see it as simply the knowledge of speech. Okay. Next is payu, the organs of excretion. It is simply something that appears on stage and exits. If you cannot see payu, or organs of excretion, as simply jnana, knowledge, then you will be captivated by the body identification and specifically related to your bowel movements, related to the function of elimination of food waste from the body. You will be bound by the idea, oh, I have bowel issues, or you will be bound by the idea, oh, see, I don't have bowel issues. You're bound in both. Huh? You're not seeing it as simply a knowledge wave. And then you'll go on saying, you don't have bowel issues. You don't know how bad it is. I know. And stories about it. And how sick the body is, and how you are the sick body and you're not the witness of the sickness. You will get lost in that identification. Very important, especially as the body ages, accepting that diseases are simply knowledge waves. There's only knowledge of a disease. There is no disease. When there is no body, when there is no world, how can there be a diseased body in that world? It's very important to not get lost in that identification. Have faith in the flow. If there is the wave of disease, that flow itself will bring in the wave of health when required. When there is a healthy bowel moment, you don't go dancing, yay, I had a healthy bowel moment. But you complain when there is an unhealthy bowel moment. So recognize where the identification is strong. Work on that and recognize it's only a jnana drishya. Only knowledge seen. I am the drishta of the scene. If you cannot see it, then you are bound. Next is upastha, or organ of reproduction. It just appears on the stage and exits. It has two functions. One, to stoke the jnana indriya of touch, which is the sparsh indriya. And the second is for proper reproduction. If you don't see it as simply a knowledge wave, what will you be captivated by? This body is what I gave birth to. So this was born of me. This is mine. This is where mineness starts. Then there will be the wrong illusion. I am born because I gave birth. That means if I'm born, I will die, and that which I gave birth to will also die. And all these cravings, aversions come up and create more stories regarding birth, death, and mindness. Exactly from here is born the horrendous idea that I can bring about death or take away life. No, these are all wrong ideas. I have no proof that I was born. I recognize I am that witnessing field which was always there. There is no beginning point. Therefore, I was never born. Then how can there be an end point to that which was never born? And how can that which is beginningless, endless, made of nothingness, alive emptiness, give rise to somethingness? No, that is also nothingness, because this is nothingness, emptiness. So get out of any attachments or bondages created by the 5 karmendriyas. Sure.